Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining the onboarding session, the Grant and SSHRC application. Before this session, I would like to acknowledge the land that the Toronto Metropolitan University is located in both downtown Toronto and Hamilton. We have a medical school there. I'm going to read the land acknowledgement. Toronto is in the dish with one spoon territory. The Dish with One Spoon is a treaty between the Anishinaabe, Mississaugas, and Haudenosaunee that bound them to share the territory and protect the land. Subsequent indigenous nations and peoples, Europeans, and all newcomers have been invited into this treaty in the spirit of peace, friendship, and respect. For those of you that you've been enjoying the onboarding session, you are probably already familiar with the land acknowledgement. If you want to learn more about it, and you can find that information on the TMU Land First Nations Indigenous website. I'm going to stop share so Anna can share now. And I will pass the mic to Anna shortly, and she will talk about the grants and all the good information here.
Thank you, Elaine. Give me just 1 second. Oh. Okay. Can you see?
Yes, great.
Perfect. Okay. Hi everybody. I'll get started. Yes? Okay. Hi everybody. I am Anna Maria. I am the Research Communications and Graduate Grants Specialist at the Creative School. Today we're going to be looking at the available grants for graduate students and the grant application process within the Creative School. My colleague Stacey is also a grant specialist, so you can reach out to either one of us with your questions. You will find our contact information at the end of the presentation, and the slides will also be shared with you after the presentation, so you will have access to all the links included here. So let's first talk about what the Tri-Council is. The Tri-Council is composed of 3 federal funding agencies. So you have the Canadian Institute of Health Research, the Natural Sciences and Engineering Research Council, the NSERC, the Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council, the SSHRC. And these are general fields of research. So general fields of research fall under each of these councils' scope. When we talk about funding for graduate studies, the main sources of funding for graduate students come from the Tri-Council. So we are going to be talking about these opportunities today. So first we have the Canada Graduate Research Scholarship on the doctoral level, then the master's level. And from provincial scholarships, we have Ontario Graduate Scholarship on the doctoral and master's level. And the Yeats Faculty of Graduate Studies also has a list of internal and external grants that are available to students. So I would highly encourage you to go through the list to see if there are any opportunities that are relevant or that you are eligible for so that you can apply. So first is the Canada Graduate Research Scholarship on the doctoral level, the CGRSD. This is a scholarship that is valued at $40,000 a year for 3 years, or a total of 36 months. You can submit a maximum of 1 scholarship or fellowship application per academic year to either the CIHR, the NSERC, or the SSHRC, and you can apply a maximum of 3 times. To be eligible, you need to have completed no more than 36 months of full-time equivalent study in a doctoral program at the time of application, or if you are enrolled part-time, then 2 part-time terms of study equal 1 term of full-time study. You need to be part of an eligible doctoral program, which is predominantly research-oriented, and international students, you must be enrolled at a Canadian institution by the application deadline. These are some application details. As you are already enrolled at TMU, you will be applying through TMU. So you will be following TMU's deadline, which is October 4th, 2026. When you are applying, you need to make sure you are choosing the correct tri-council agency. For most creative school students, this is going to be SHRC, the Social Sciences and Humanities Council. So do make sure that you are choosing the correct one. And the results are announced April 30th, 2027. The TMU quota, the most recent number that we have is 29 SHRC applications or SHRC awards. The term quota here refers to the maximum number of applications an institution can forward to each agency. I mentioned that for TMU students, the deadline is October 4th. When you visit the Tri-Council or the SHRC website, you will see a different deadline. The SHRC deadline is October 19th. That's what you will see on the website. Do not be confused and do not be worried about this. The deadline, the October 19th deadline, is for applicants who are not enrolled at a university or a program. So because you are at TMU, you will be following the TMU deadline, which is October 4th. These are the application elements. So to apply, you need to have a research proposal, which needs to be a maximum of 2 pages. This is a PDF document that is a standard letter size with a minimum of 12-point Times New Roman font. It is single-spaced and a minimum margins of 3/4 of an inch. You need bibliography and citations with a maximum of 5 pages. Again, a PDF with the same formatting. You can also use different referencing styles as they are allowed. You need your research contributions, relevant experience, and activities, which is a maximum of 2 pages, and transcripts. So you need up-to-date official transcripts for all undergraduate and graduate studies that you have previously completed. You need 2 references and a web-based or portal-based CV. As the application deadline approaches, the high volume of users accessing the online application systems and even the CV portal is going to increase, which may cause delays that prevent you from submitting your application on time. So do make sure that you start working on this in advance, because late applications will not be accepted, and you cannot make any changes, updates, revisions to your application beyond the deadline or after you have submitted. Regarding the transcripts, you need up-to-date official transcripts. That means that you need to have the transcripts issued by your institution's registrar's office and dated or issued in the fall session of the year of your application. So for incoming students, your TMU transcript might not have too much information on it. It might only have a list of courses that you are enrolled in, or it might just say that you are enrolled in a program. You still need it. So do make sure that you have it in your list of transcripts. Regarding your references, and you inform your referees that they will receive an email with the subject line invitation to provide a letter of appraisal, and let them know in advance. It is your responsibility to ensure that each invited person completes and verifies the form before the application deadline. If your referees don't submit their letters by the application deadline, then your application is not going to be considered complete. So reach out to them early and let them know that they will receive an email. One of your referees should be very familiar with your research abilities. So that can be somebody like your current or previous research supervisor. And the other referee should be sufficiently familiar with your research and abilities to provide meaningful commentary. This is the evaluation criteria for the CGRSD. You can see that it is split into 2 sections. Each are weighed at 50%. The first is your research potential. So within research potential, evaluators are looking for the quality of your research proposal. So that includes things like having a specific, focused, and feasible research question and research objectives, a clear description and the soundness of your proposed methodology, the significance and the expected contributions to research and your relevant field. You need to also show potential to carry out the proposed research fully, the quality of contributions and the extent to which they advance the field of research. And that can include things like publications, patents, reports, posters, abstracts, creative outputs, knowledge translation outputs, community products. A lot of research outputs generally fall under this category. You need to have a demonstration of sound judgment and ability to think critically, integration of EDI considerations where applicable, a demonstration of responsible and ethical research conduct, a demonstration of originality, initiative, autonomy, relevant community involvement and outreach, the ability to communicate concepts clearly and logically in written and oral formats, and the quality of presentation of your application in general. For relevant experience, the evaluators are looking for things like relevant training, academic training, lived experience or teachings, scholarships, awards, and distinctions, and that includes things like the amount, the duration, and the prestige of your award, your academic record, so transcripts, duration of previous studies, program requirements, course load, relative standing if that's applicable, and professional and academic and extracurricular activities, along with collaborations with supervisors, colleagues, peers, students, and members of the community. So that can include things like teaching, mentoring, or supervising a student, managing projects, participating in research promotion, participating in community outreach or volunteer work, chairing committees, or organizing conferences. These are some supplements and joint initiatives. So supplements and joint initiatives provide additional training and funding. So I would encourage you to go through the links here to see if there are there is anything that is applicable to your research and to you, and to include it alongside your Tri-Council application. Next, we're going to be talking about the CGRSM, so the scholarship on the master's level. This is administered by the Tri-Council, so you need to make sure you select the agency that is most relevant to your research. In most cases for creative school students, this is the SSHRC, the Social Sciences and Humanities Council. This is a scholarship that is valued at $27,000 for a maximum of 1 year, and it is not renewable. So once you receive the funding once, you can't apply again. You can submit a maximum of 1 scholarship or fellowship application per academic year to either the CIHR, the NSERC, or the SSHRC. And you submit your application directly to the Tri-Council Research Portal, it opens in September and it is due December 1st, 8 p.m. EST. So just a note here, on the master's level, you submit your application directly to the Tri-Council, directly through the SSHRC portal. It is not done through TMU. So this isn't an internal deadline. This is a deadline set by Tri-Council, and it applies to all graduate students across Canada. So December 1st, 8 p.m., make sure you mark your calendars. This is your eligibility. So Canadian citizens, permanent residents, and protected persons are eligible to apply. You need to be enrolled in or have applied for an eligible graduate program, and an eligible graduate program must include a significant research component. You need to have completed 0 to 12 months of a 2-year master's program by December 31st, 2026, and have first-class average in each of the last 2 years of study. So that's a CGPA of an A-. You need to not previously be awarded or currently holding a master's level tri-agency scholarship, and be enrolled full-time. If you are enrolled part-time, contact the Yeats School of Graduate Studies to determine if you are eligible. These are the application details. So once again, you have to make sure you choose the correct Tri-Council agency, or the one that applies most to your research. Again, for most creative school students, that's usually SSHRC. TMU adjudicates the applications, and the SSHRC quota as of December 2025 is 29. And the results are announced April 1st of 2027. These are the application elements. So when you apply, you need the following. You need a research proposal, which is a maximum of 1 page. Again, this is a PDF document, a standard letter size, minimum of 12 point times New Roman font, single-spaced, maximum of a 3/4 of an inch margin. Bibliography and citations, maximum 1 page. A summary of your proposal. This is the abstract of your research, which can be a maximum of 1,800 characters. You need to have all your transcripts from your undergraduate and graduate studies that you've completed previously, which again includes transcripts from your fall semester of the year of your application. You need 2 references and a Canadian Common CV, which is a CCV. I would encourage you to look at the link for the CCV for more detailed information on how to complete it. It is time consuming, so it's recommended that you start completing your CCV and have it done by the time you start working on your research proposal. There will be a workshop on how to complete your CCV in the fall, so do stay tuned for that. Regarding your references, contact your references early. Without your references, your application will be deemed incomplete, and late or incomplete applications will not be accepted. So you cannot make any changes or updates to your applications once it has been submitted, even if it's been submitted before the deadline. Assessments should be completed by individuals who are familiar enough with your research and other abilities that they can provide meaningful commentary. For example, that can be a current or previous academic research supervisor, industry supervisor, employment or volunteer supervisor, a teacher, or a thesis advisor. Just to note that referees don't send their reference letters to you directly. They will submit it through the Tri-Council or the SSHRC portal on their end. So you won't see the letter yourself. All you will see on your end is a check mark showing that the letters have been submitted. So reach out to your references early, make sure that they get in their forms and letters ahead of the deadline. Regarding your transcripts, you need official transcripts and they need to be up to date, which means that they need to be dated or issued in the fall session of the year of your application. So once again, for incoming students, your transcript, like your TMU transcript, is not going to show a lot of information. It's only going to have the list of courses that you are currently enrolled in. So even then, you do still need to include it. This is the evaluation criteria for the CGRSM on the master's level. You have your academic excellence, research potential, and personal characteristics. The academic excellence is demonstrated by past academic results, transcripts, awards, distinctions, and it is weighed at 50%. The research potential is demonstrated by your research history, your interest in discovery, the proposed research, its potential contribution to the advancement of knowledge, and it is weighed at 30%. And personal characteristics are demonstrated by your past professional and relevant extracurricular interactions and collaborations, weighed at 20%. These are some supplements and related opportunities. So supplements and joint initiatives provide additional training and additional funding. So I would encourage you to go through the links to see if there are any that are applicable to your research and to you, and to include it alongside your Tri-Council application. Now we're going to be talking about provincial level funding. This is the Ontario Graduate Scholarship. It is valued at $15,000 for a maximum of 3 semesters or 1 full year. It cannot be held concurrently with a Tri-Council grant like a SSHRC grant. So you do still need to have first-class average in the last 2 years of study. But the good thing is that you can request your application for Tri-Council to be used for OGS as well. All you need to do is contact your graduate program administrator and fill out this very short supplemental form, and the results are announced in early May. So this is an easy way to be considered for both competitions. It's something that I would recommend you do. If you have not submitted to Tri-Council, or you do not want to submit to Tri-Council, you can still apply for the Ontario Graduate Scholarship, but the application is very similar, almost the same as the Tri-Council. You still need 2 referees, a CV, copies of all your post-secondary transcripts, research proposal, a bibliography, and research contributions. So the link there, I would encourage you to look at it. You need to check the internal TMU deadline for OGS because the deadlines vary by program. And the deadlines on the page there haven't been updated yet. So do check regularly to make sure that you don't miss it. But generally the deadline is early March. This is your student grant support. As TMU students, as creative school students, you have student grant support directly situated within the creative school. For doctoral students, you can contact my colleague Stacy for one-on-one appointments. You can book through the calendar booking link there. Information on further workshops with Stacy will be emailed in the next month. And keep an eye out for library workshops as well, as they can be very helpful for filling out this application. And if you have any questions, feel free to email Stacy at the email address there. For master students, you can contact me. We will be having one-on-one appointments, and you can book through that calendar booking link. Information on workshops will be emailed in the fall. Library workshops, once again, keep an eye out to see if there is anything that will help you fill out this application. And if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out at that email address on the slide. If you have any questions now, feel free to jump in.
A lot of great information. Thank you very much.
Of course.
So there were some questions and you answered also, and I kind of like responded.
Mhm.
Um, so for OGS that Anna mentioned, for each program, if it's a 2-year programs, your program has the second year, and we will double calculate your cumulative GPA, sometimes in February next year, and we will let you know if you are eligible. So you need to have a class of A minus in your last year of your undergrad or graduate. So you need to have that in order to be eligible to be compete in the OGS. So the program will double calculate your cumulative GPA and will email you from the program email and notify you to apply. So the deadline would be in the early March. That's for OGS. I see there's a question from Nino. Regarding SHRC PhD, one of the selection criteria mentions sound judgment. Could you elaborate on what that means in the context of this role?
Yes, really, it just means that your proposal needs to make sense. It needs to logically follow. It's written in a much fancier way than it needs to be. It means that your research needs to make sense. That's all it is.
Next question. Could you repeat the details on the two reference for the master grant? Should they just be people who are familiar with your research capabilities, like our professor?
Exactly. So if you do have a professor you've worked with before, or somebody who, for example, you completed a capstone project with, something like that, where they know they are aware of your research capabilities and they can speak to it, then that would be the right person to reach out to.
Great questions. The next one, I was hoping you would also discuss the OSAP application process. How can I get answer to some of the question in the application? For the OSAP, we did a onboarding session for the OSAP just last week. We have let me just take a double look right now if the recording. So the recording and the slides are already available on the onboarding website. So you can check back the um, recording and the slides. In the meantime, let me know what questions you have about the OSAP and I'll try my best to answer. Okay, so I just shared the link about the OSAP onboarding session we did last week. By the way, all the past onboarding sessions, we have recording and the slides there on the onboarding website. Great questions. And I noticed some of you are in the 1-year program. So if you are in the 1-year program, if you are not going to apply for a master program right after your 1-year master degree program, then the information here is really for PhD students, 4-year full-time program, and then the master programs that have the second year, because you are applying for the funding for your second year. So you're applying for the SHRC or OGS for your second year. I'm gonna share the onboarding link again. I just shared it there. So I'm gonna share it again. All right.
Regarding the one-on-one appointment, if you are looking for an appointment for these applications to complete an application, you will receive the links to the booking calendar in these slides. So once the slides are shared, you can use the link there to book an appointment.
Thank you. So the slides and the recording will likely to be added on the onboarding website sometime tomorrow. That would be the earliest. So you will have the slides, and there has links on the slides, and Anna and Stacy's information links there, so you can book a one-on-one appointment later on. And also, Anna mentioned there will be a session sometime is it September you mentioned?
Yeah, it will be in September, yes. In
Okay,
the fall,
yeah,
there will be a few sessions on the different parts of the application. So from the research proposal to completing the CCB. So stay tuned for that as well.
great. Um, Later on, Anna will share that information with us. We will share that information with you guys so you can keep an eye on your inbox from the program email account always, and then you can attend those sessions later on. For the OSAP recording is already there. If you can click the link and scroll down to July. Anna, can you I want to share the onboarding session. It seems the student has a difficulty to locate the OSAP recording and the slides. So I just want to share the screen and
Mhm.
to show the student right now. Thank you. Where's my slides? Okay, let me share my. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen right now. So this is onboarding website, right? So if you click the link I share in the chat, it will show the graduate study on the creative school. And then if you scroll all the way down to July, you will see the OSAP, right? Student Financial Assistance and OSAP. This is a session we focus on the OSAP and the information. This is we did it on July 9. So if you click the link, you will see the recording. If you click the presentation slides, you will see the slides. Right. So today right now we just had SHRC and grant application that Anna just presented. So we will upload the recording here, sometimes the earliest tomorrow, and we will have slides here. And then the next one, so I'm just gonna talk about the next one. So next one, you will see the My Service Hub and other useful tools that is on July 22nd, 2 to 3. Book your calendar, join the session if you can. If you are unable to join, we will have the recording and the slides there. And then the next one is the August orientation, and then the student union, for example. And then we have more details about the 3-day orientation, right? So this is the website I was referring to. Okay, so I'm gonna stop share. Um, So the question about the OSAP again, I made an application to OSAP a while ago. There are a couple of mistakes. The system says to contact me onboarding to you. Who should I speak to for that? If you can send an email to the program, I will get back to you. I will see what questions you have, and I will get back to you. So send an email to the program. Always, any questions you have, send a quick email to the program, and then we will get back to you about that. Um, all right. It's 1:34. Let us know if you have any questions about the SHRC or OGS to Anna. She's here to answer all your questions.
Without spending too much time on each one, could you briefly outline the try, each one of the try, I can't remember what it was called, but like the SHRC, tell me what each one of those are and specifically.
The Tri-Council
Mhm.
councils.
Hmm.
Okay, so there are three. The CIHR is the Canadian Institutes for Health Research, so anything that has to do with health. The NSERC is the Natural Sciences and Engineering Research Council. So that's going to be any sciences and engineering, it would fall under that scope. And the Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council is the SSHRC. So that's where social sciences and humanities would fall.
And so
Great, thank you.
and if we're in the creative school, and you say that SSHRC are the ones, the best ones for us to apply, but can you just give me maybe an example or two of what you mean by that?
Sure. So generally, like research that comes out of the creative school is largely creative. So it does generally fall under SSHRC, but it doesn't have to. It can fall under NSERC or CIHR, but generally it falls under SSHRC. I can give you an example of my research when I was in my master's program. I looked at the communication or audience engagement strategies through communication on classical music. So that largely fell under the SSHRC umbrella. So that's something that would be an example.
And then would that be separate from your thesis, or was it part of your thesis?
It's your thesis. It is your thesis. So whatever you write in your research proposal, that's going to be the research that you complete in your program.
Okay. Thank you.
Great question. Thank you, Anna. I see a question there. Is the quota of 29 applications for the entire university? If so, is there a quota for the creative school?
I believe it is the entire university. I don't think we have a quota for the creative school. Do we?
I think that's
It's
correct.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's for the entire university. Great question again. One more question. Could I see this slide for CGRS again?
Are you looking for the master's level or the doctoral? Do you have a specific question?
Yeah, let
Master's.
us know. Yeah, let us know what specific questions you have.
We are going to share the slides, so you will have access to all the slides and you can get all the information from there. But if you do have a specific question,
Yeah,
okay.
that's okay. So we are going to share the slides tomorrow, and that's the earliest. So just check the onboarding website, and we have the recording here, and we have slides there, and so you can review the slides. If you have any questions, send an email to the program, and we will get back to you. Great. Let us know if you have any other questions. The next one, if there are less than 29 candidates meeting the requirements, can other candidates be considered who doesn't have a class in previous year? I think your question is referring to eligibility, right? So that A minus, I think the A minus for that is like a minimum. That's the requirement to be eligible to be entered for the competition. So if you don't have A minus, you are not eligible to apply. Did I answer correct, Anna?
Yes, yes.
Great question. Okay, so let us know if you have any questions. If you don't have any questions, that's okay now because there's a lot of information. So you will for sure, you will have a lot of questions as you go through your application, prepare for your application. So for the PhD program, it is October 4. October 4. So that's like at the beginning of September, you're kind of like already thinking of your SSHRC application. And the funding, it is 40,000. So it's really great funding. And we will remind you, we will send you email again about the SSHRC. For the master degree students, your program has the second year, and we will double calculate your cumulative GPA. If you're eligible to apply, we will let you know. Your GPD will also follow up on that to encourage you to apply. If you applied for SHRC last year, when you applied to the program, if you want to also apply for OGS later, like Anna mentioned, you can reach out to the program, which is us, and then you can ask for the SHRC application to be reconsidered for the OGS. So all those logistic, we will have that later on. So for PhD is the application deadline is a little bit early. So in the meantime, if you have any questions to Anna, you can reach out to her earlier on. For the master degree students, you can always think about the CV that she mentioned that you can start to build on right now. Also the reference that's very important to complete your application. If I don't see any questions in the next 1 minute, I think we can close the session. Again, we're gonna post the slides and the recording. So you're welcome to email the program, each program, and we'll get back to you. And you can also reach out directly to Anna as well. Thank you so much, Anna, for the session. This is very helpful. Thank you everyone for joining. All right, I'm gonna stop the recording.